out of 7. So after this video, we got 4 more to go. I checked my Twitch. We are at 1.16. Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna get to 2.0 by next month. I can see it happening. But yeah, this right here is WWE news. WWE Backstage angry with Triple H. Shane McMahon update. Jacob Fatu to outshine the Bloodline, and more. It's about Slap Rock Wrestling.
We are kicking off today with AEW Dynamite as before.
No, we aren't. No, we aren't. I can't say nothing about AEW. Just 1 second. Okay.
Right now, WWE is building a new bloodline, one with Solo Sikoa in charge, and we've already seen Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa join the revamped faction. One name many fans expect to see is Jacob Fatu, a former MLW World Heavyweight Champion, but there is said to be some concerns about his potential involvement. WrestleVotes reports that WWE is seeking to build an aggressive streak in Solo Sikoa to establish him as the main force in the new bloodline, but add, interesting tidbit here. Sources suggest that Solo Sikoa's recent aggressive streak is part of a strategy to establish him as the main force within this new phase of the bloodline ahead of Jacob Fatu's debut. However, some trepidation remains within creative over fear that Fatu's presence could outshine Solo at this stage. Fatu has made a name for himself outside of WWE, but in the interest of fairness, we should note that sources who spoke to Ringside News called this report completely fabricated. Whether WWE is concerned or not about Fatu's star power, he is expected to make an impact when he debuts, though it remains to be seen when that will be. But what do you think of these reports? Should WWE be worried about Fatu outshining the Bloodline's new leader? Let us know in the comments section below. Last month, Vince McMahon filed a motion to compel arbitration in the lawsuit brought against him by Janelle Grant, as he hopes to settle the matter outside of the courtroom. McMahon has always denied the allegations against him, but wants to settle the matter as quickly as possible, and John Laurinaitis has also shared his support for arbitration. In a new filing, it's revealed that WWE themselves will likely join McMahon and Laurinaitis in calling for arbitration, as the promotion is also named in Grant's lawsuit. The proposed timeline indicates that the 3 defendants are expected to file their motions, along with any supporting memoranda, by Tuesday, May 14th. WWE is yet to file the motion or memoranda, while Laurinaitis has filed the motion but without memoranda, and McMahon has already filed both documents. Grant's lawsuit is a serious one and could see plenty of developments to come, and we'll continue to follow this case for further updates. More lawsuit news now, as WWE is now facing a new piece of litigation, and this one surrounds a fan's experience at a taping of Friday Night SmackDown. The lawsuit filed in March alleges that Florida resident Richard Bryant suffered injuries at the event in July 2022 as he was seated near the stage when pyrotechnics went off. This, according to Bryant's claim, led to nearly complete hearing loss in his right ear, and the lawsuit alleges negligence on WWE's part as they failed to warn of the risks. The complaint claims these failures led to personal injuries, including a traumatic rupture of his right eardrum, bilateral tinnitus, and psychological harm. In a bizarre move, though, the filing also mentions that Bryant had to use crutches and wear a protective boot to support his left foot, indicating that he was experiencing limited motion. This unusual detail raises questions about whether Bryant's legal team included information from a separate lawsuit, as these injuries are inconsistent with the ear injuries mentioned.
Right.
Bryant's lawsuit suggests that his injuries could be permanent, and he claims to have incurred and expects future medical expenses related to treatment. It remains to be seen if this case will move to federal court, but we can be assured that the basis of this lawsuit and WWE's response will be scrutinized in great detail. This isn't WWE's only hearing loss lawsuit, as Marvin Jackson is suing due to alleged hearing injuries he suffered at WrestleMania 38 in Dallas, Texas. WWE has said that Jackson agreed to the risks by attending the show, though Jackson has said since his ticket was a gift and he never paid for his seat, he never entered into an agreement. We'll have to wait and see how that lawsuit goes and what effect it could have on Bryant's lawsuit, as WWE has plenty to keep its legal team very busy. In recent weeks, WWE has cut quite a number of names from its roster, with both the main roster.
Why not accuse them that same day or a couple of months after? I don't know, 2-4 weeks.
And WWE NXT being affected by these departures. Jinder Mahal, Cameron Grimes, and Xia Li were among those released shortly after WrestleMania 40, and that has proven to be a source of frustration among the remaining stars. Fightful Select reports that the most recent releases from NXT were a common topic of conversation backstage at this week's taping, and talent were frustrated over the cuts. These cuts have also faced criticisms from fans, as WWE is letting go of talent after its most successful and lucrative event, that being WrestleMania 40. These frustrations among the roster were described as prevalent, and while layoffs are expected in any profession, that doesn't mean those remaining in WWE have to like them. Last week it was confirmed that Gable Steveson had been released from WWE less than 3 years after his high-profile signing, and now more has come out about his exit. On Wrestling Observer Radio, it was made clear that Steveson had a very big money contract and, frankly, wasn't cutting it, which led WWE to part ways with the Olympic gold medalist. While Stevenson's days in WWE are over, fans may see him soon enough, though not in the world of Olympic wrestling, but an entirely different sport. Steveson was scheduled to be on the MMA Hour, but had to cancel due to a scheduling conflict, though his manager Dave Martin gave the following statement on his future. Gable Steveson is very grateful for the opportunities he had with WWE and would like to thank everybody in the organization who helped him get there. He would also like to thank the fans who supported him on his professional wrestling journey. Now Gable is ready to resume competing against elite level competition and looks forward to sharing very big news with you all very soon. Multiple NFL teams have reached out to Gable Steveson. He has also been training at Killcliff FC with Henry Hooft and Robbie Lawler. There's no shortage of opportunities to compete. There had been rumblings that Steveson would go for the NFL following his win at the Tokyo Games in 2021 before he signed with WWE, and now a football run is again a possibility. Steveson didn't impress in WWE, but still has a future ahead of him, and the ex-superstar and Olympic gold medalist may not be on the sidelines for long. Back to AEW Dynamite, as the learning tree, Chris Jericho and Big Bill made quick work of some local talent, but Jericho was in for a surprise after the match.
I don't care about AEW.
The last time fans saw Shane McMahon, it was at WrestleMania 39, where he suffered a torn quad, but this week, the prodigal son did resurface on social media. When a fan bumped into Shane at a Yankees game, McMahon was kind enough to pose for a picture, and the fan noted that Shane was sat in the bleachers with the fans. It remains to be seen when we'll next see McMahon and what role he'll play in this new era, but Shane certainly seemed to be doing well after last year's unfortunate injury. In the Ruthless Aggression era, the three top names were John Cena, Batista, and Randy Orton, and while Cena and Batista have become Hollywood A-listers, Orton has stayed in WWE. Orton has wrestled more than Cena in WWE and far more than Batista, but the Legend Killer realizes that his days in the ring can't last forever. Speaking with Adam's Apple, Orton discussed his future in wrestling and how his perspective has changed since undergoing spinal fusion surgery back in 2022. This injury came after a decade of Orton struggling with persistent pain in his 30s that led to Orton repeatedly requesting time off to recover. The 44-year-old superstar recalled Vince McMahon telling him that Mother Nature comes for everyone, but said WWE's regime change has led to a focus on preserving talent, not overworking them. This shift has allowed for Orton to reconsider his career longevity, and he now intends to wrestle a full-time schedule and is open to wrestling until he turns 50, or perhaps even further. With the current leadership, Orton can approach Triple H to request time off without any pushback, as the new era has a more flexible environment for stars needing breaks. In the same interview, Orton talked about possibly following Cena and Batista into Hollywood and revealed that he's with a United talent agency and regularly participates in auditions. With that said, Orton isn't all that keen on making his way into Hollywood despite his self-tape submissions, since he would have to start all the way from the bottom. Could Orton make a name for himself in Hollywood? Perhaps, but these days, the Viper is happy to spend the remaining years of his WWE career in the ring.
I hope you don't have,
But
like,
what do you make of
PSI
Orton's reasoning? Should he try to make it in acting,
type
or
of
is sticking with
career, or,
wrestling the right call?
general.
Give your thoughts down in the comments. The last time Britt Baker competed for AEW, it was in September of last year.
About AEW. Why do they keep doing this? What do they mean by this?
2025 Monday Night Raw will move to Netflix in a blockbuster change to the show, but this deal raised questions as to what the final months of 2024 will look like. After all, it was initially reported that Raw's deal with the USA Network would expire in October, leading to speculation that the last quarter of 2024 would see no Raw whatsoever. Now, WWE has avoided this fate, as it's been confirmed that a $25 million domestic media rights agreement with NBC Universal will keep Raw on the air until the end of 2024. After that, the show will move to Netflix in a deal valued at over $5 billion that'll last for 10 years, but could be cut short or extended depending on how it goes. Raw on Netflix will be an unprecedented move for the brand, and whatever's to come, at least fans will still be able to watch the Monday night show until the very end of 2020. In an interview with Serena Deeb, the professor said that losing to Toni Storm isn't an option for her, and how hard it was.
I don't care. They love reminding us that AEW exists. Okay, so everything else is like AEW news. Woohoo!